Welcome tonight to our fourth Daily Grid Show.
Hello, it's Thursday night, it's 9:30 local time here in Hockenheim. As always, I would say get your neighbors and friends out of the beds. It could be the most challenging, most interesting Daily Grid Show you have seen this season. What a day. I mean, it started so early and teams showed up at 7:30 in the morning to queue up for the dynamics, to queue up for the scrutineering. We have seen cars to get the last stickers on those scruties, on a tech inspection. We have seen cars performing in the skid pad on the acceleration. We have seen the driverless cars competing at the Autocross event. Wow, so many events today. And it was even busy upstairs in the McKee above pits where we do the corona tests. So before we look into that, let's see what's going up there. And we share some numbers of today of the corona tests. And we keep that very short. Today we have tested 394 people. And the positive news is all of them are negative. And because it's so much fun, we keep doing that tomorrow morning. And we start again at 10 until 4 in the afternoon. And again, you will receive via my account page your personal schedule when you need to show up for this 1 or 2 minutes to get your tests done. And please let us also remind you to follow the guidelines. We have to do so to keep safe. So let's keep an eye on that, to wear your mask even more in roofed areas and inside, or in situations where you cannot ensure a 1.5 meter distance to others. By the way, Katharina and I, we got tested every day, so to really put it on a very safe side. And we could not resist to shoot some people while they do the self-test. So let us have some impressions about the corona tests.
Welcome to our COVID test center. Behind me, about 400 to 500 sponsors, volunteers and team members are tested.
Wow, that was fun to watch.
I think everybody looks a bit weird in this situation. Well, all right, talking about fun, we also had the dynamics today. So we started off with skid pad in the morning, acceleration in the afternoon for the combustion electric cars, and also, and of course, the driverless cars, and also the Autocross. And of course, we saw that a lot of you guys, a lot of teams actually queued up very early in the morning for skid pad, which was quite awesome. I think even the first car was pushed up to the skid pad at 8 something,
40.
so 8:40. Yeah, that was really amazing. We haven't seen that in the last couple of years. Afternoon started a bit late, so we waited for some time, but still, most of you made it to do the acceleration. Unfortunately, in the Autocross, only 3 teams could finish the Autocross or score some points there. I think it was Trondheim, Augsburg, and also Karlsruhe. But I mean, tomorrow is another day of events, so there's more opportunity for you to score points, FSD people. So yeah, then let's have some impressions and also look into our CV EV impressions from today. right, welcome back. So there were some really nice shots. I think that gave you quite a nice impression of what happened today. So yeah, we will show you, of course, some more over the next couple of days. But however, first we wanted to remind you again to tell us who helped you this week. So again, the Sportsmanship Award, as we already announced for a couple of times now, please make sure to nominate your team, whoever helped you, whoever showed real sportsmanship. Nominate the forum, or nominate your team in the forum. Not your team, but the team that helped you. And otherwise, we will also go through the pits tomorrow to collect some names. So please make sure to nominate the team that was a real sportsman. Then also, we have some really nice things tomorrow, the panoramic picture, as we already told you yesterday. Just a quick reminder, I think we don't have to go through all of the points. 11:30 starts the queuing up. Only please the driver and the pusher. So the driver will stay in the car and the car pusher will go to the side to wait there. Remember to take a pit stop before. There's no way out. And also wings cars, please wait first for the no wings cars to queue to stage in order to give them the possibility to also be in the picture or visible in the picture. All right, then again for the setup, as we showed you, the entrance will be the same entrance as we had today for acceleration. Again, second row, 2 rows of no wings cars, and there are going to be the rest of the rows. There's going to be wings cars. So that's about that. Also, another thing we wanted to remind you is the team photo. So if you want to have a picture of you taken, I mean, you know, in the last couple of years, we always did that in the marquee above pits after you did the statics. Since we don't have statics this year on site, we wanted to do it on request. So there's also a form or a Google Sheets where you can sign up for a specific time slot. And if you're a combustion car, then your picture will be taking place in the area where the strawberry basket is. So then you wait there, and there's going to be some photographers to take a nice picture, as you see already in the slide here. Take nice pictures of you, so you have a nice little thing to take home for maybe your garage or your workshop. All right, another really, really cool thing we have tomorrow. Matthias, maybe you can give some insights about the award ceremony.
Yeah, it's already Thursday, so that means just 2 more days are in front of us. And man, time is flying by. It's so crazy. And we already addressed now the first part of the award ceremony, which will take place on Friday night, 8 p.m. here on site. So it's a live event. And we can give you some overview how that's going to take place. And we do that in the main grandstands in the so-called Nordkurve. And we all have a designated seating place. So your team will sit next to each other in a group of 8 people. And we all go there. And the detailed information will be shared via the webpage, via your account overnight. And you have this information tomorrow. But you might have already seen a start-finish line, the stage, which is already built up. You might have seen the test runs on the lights. So it's going to be a very cool show. You see here on the map how we are going to seat. And you have those 3 sectors where we are going to sit. All the teams are together. What is really important, you stay on your seat. So we hand over the awards at your designated seating place. So please do not leave your seat, do not come on stage. The officials will come to you and hand over, hopefully, a lot of trophies, which you deserve. And it's going to be a fun event. So let us now look into more details how you enter. On this screen, you already see how you exit, but also how you enter here. You can enter via the hotel on this side, and you go along the grandstands. It's a one-way only. So that's the best way you can do. If you're still here in the pits, you could also cross the start-finish line, but that's a bit tricky. So the best way is to go via the hotel and go along the grandstands. And we have 2 entries there, and you find your designated seating place. It's going to be a fun event, and we open the doors at 7:30 so half an hour prior to the event, but no rush. Everybody will know where your seat is. Coming from Friday night, let's bring it back to the pit lane. Most of you are walking every day or during the day in the pit lane here, and you see the booths of our sponsors, and it's pretty exciting what they show. And many times we see the team members going really into technical details and have some chat about technical solutions. Others are reaching out to our sponsors, talking about job opportunities. Others are just hunting for goodie bags. So it's pretty fun to see what's going on there. But if you go at the very end of the pit lane, you see the truck from Delft, and that's always a good support from the teams that the Delft team is helping out with their workshop and to do some small parts, some spare parts, some repair work. So it's good to have them here on site. And Teresa took a tour today and to look into the Delft truck. And we have a video for you, and which we want to share with you.
Hi, my name is Teresa, and today we are looking at a special vehicle on site, the Delft truck. Let's go and see what it's all about. Welcome to the Delft truck and the Team Delft. This is the place where teams have the opportunity to use machines and tools similar to their workshops.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. My name is Jasper. I'm this year's team captain of the DUT21. And yet again, this year we brought our Delft truck again, which indeed, like you said, we packed our entire workshop back into the truck. So the workshop at home is completely empty and it's entirely in here. And yeah, we use it to machine parts for ourselves, but also like for everyone else who needs it. Like we have helped teams through scrutineering, we've helped teams win over the years. Started with it in 2006, I believe. And we started with it, actually it started completely for ourselves. We brought everything to fix parts for ourselves. And then it has actually grown into this mainstream thing for the entire competition, for the entire teams. And now every time we're here, we bring it to indeed help other teams. So other teams can indeed come to us and with their problems, and we will talk to them. Actually, Troy will talk to them. We check with them how we can help them and how we can fix their problems.
Yeah, hi, I'm Troy. I'm the Chief of Mechanical Production for the DUT21, and right now I'm the one managing the truck. So whenever teams need a part, they can come by me and then I will help them out. Unfortunately for us, the main thing we're making is lock wire holes in bolts, which takes us a lot of time and is really fun to do. But luckily there are also teams which have some interesting parts. Like for example, yesterday I made an entire new brake pedal for a team that broke theirs during mechanical scrutiny, which is actually pretty fun to make. And I also helped them through scrutiny. They're actually past it now. So overall it's pretty fun. Over here on the left are boxes of electronics and soldering stuff. Whenever you need to borrow like heat shrink, resistor, stuff like that, you can just come by and ask. Also, if you need help soldering or need a soldering station, you can also come by because my colleague Sjoerd has a lot of experience with that. Over here we have a 3D printing station. So if you come by with the USB stick with the CAD model, we can just upload it and we can print it for you. That's no issue. Now we've come to my favorite part of the truck, which is our machining center. Over here we basically have all the tools that we have in our workshop. We have a lathe, a mill, a belt grinder and a saw. The saw is actually my favorite machine because it's made in 1953, so more than half a century old. And I actually repaired the wiring myself, which was really fun. And what's also fun over here is the drawing of the brake pedal I just talked about. There's one team, Bodensee, they actually broke their brake pedal during scrutineering when trying to trigger the bolts. So they came to us asking if we could make a new one. So they simplified their pedal a bit, and yeah, basically I made it in like 6 hours, and now it's in their car and they've actually passed mechanical scrutiny. So that just goes to show, like, if you have any issues with mechanical stuff, but also with soldering stuff, you can just come over and who knows, maybe we can help you get through scrutiny. I think that concludes our truck tour, and I'll see you guys at the truck.
This was our tour around the Delft track. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions, ask Team Delft.
Yeah, thank you, Team Delft, for
thank you.
for all your support to all the teams out there. It's great to have you on site. Katrina, you were talking today about the dynamics, and so many people were glued to the screen and following the live stream today. Others were here on site on the grandstands or around the dynamic area, sticking at the fence. And who really makes a difference to follow the dynamic events are our commentators. And we are happy to welcome two of them today. We welcome Austin and welcome Mickey to the stage.
Hi.
Hi, it's great to have. We're glad to have you. You're long-term commentators here. Mickey, you joined FSG as a moderator in 2011. Austin, you joined us in 2015 as a commentator. I mean, you carry the Formula Student virus for so many years. Isn't there no vaccine to get rid of it?
Well, no, probably not. The moment we got in touch with commentating, we just fell in love with it, and we couldn't let it go. So, unfortunately, no vaccine at all.
No, and I think the more you do it, the deeper into it you get, and you just get more and more addicted to it. It's great. I really look forward to coming to Hockenheim every year, and it's glad to be back after 2 years away. It's like really exciting to be here and see all the teams and see the FSG family as well.
Yeah, lovely. So also, I would like to also ask you, where do you get all your information from? Where do you get your inspiration from? Because, I mean, you talk the whole day. This is like amazing. So maybe, Austin, you can start. Where do you get your inspiration from?
So yeah, inspiration is, I think, partially based on our experiences, both being team members. I competed at Formula Student Germany in 2011 with Oxford Brooks Racing. And you gain lots of experiences being a team member, and you sort of draw on those and try to relate those to what the teams are experiencing and what you've seen other teams experience over the past few years. I think part of it's also improvising a little bit. Times when things don't go as expected, or we had a scenario when we started driverless, and Darmstadt was lapping the track drive event, and there was no question they could get around the track perfectly fine, but they weren't exactly the fastest. I think the run ended up taking about 40 minutes on track by themselves, so we sort of went through everything we could think of about the car, the team, then Darmstadt, the city, the football team, the weather, just trying to supplement the car going around the track. And I mean, they completed successfully, which was amazing for them. And I like to think we added to that experience by sharing all the details about their team and city and things like that.
Yeah, and just to add to that, we get a lot of information from the teams themselves. We have the nice commentary forms, so again, a gentle reminder, if you haven't filled it out yet, please do so, because that will give us a lot more information to talk about your car and your team and the fun things that you do. And also, for us, it's quite normal, because we do this every day, usually with a group of friends. We just talk, and now it's with a microphone, so actually it's not all that different for us.
Good.
Yeah, maybe looking back to the history, when I was in my very first years here in the officials team, I remember the first time when Greg Dawson was a commentator, and it was in 2007 and the following years. And sadly that he left us too early, but it's even better that we have guys like you to take his heritage and you make a difference in all those dynamic events. And you could feel the tension in the air when the cars are performing and when you provide your comments to it. So, Mickey, how do you see, what are your highlights over the last, 10 years for you, but what are your highlights? What is really outstanding? Was it, okay, that was your moment or your moments, maybe?
Yeah, so I think you already mentioned it, the final 5, and I remember when it started back in 2008, it was by accident, because one of the cars blew up an engine and it had to be cleaned. And the final 3 cars, they had to wait for their final run in the endurance. And that really started the tradition. And in the end, that became a tradition with final 4 or 5 cars. And that's really the highlight of all these events, because then the competition is decided. And being able to commentate on that and having all this information about the cars is just amazing and an honor for us to do.
Austin, how would you see that? I mean, it's 5 years for you to be here on site. What are your highlights and your moments of FSG history, maybe?
Yeah, I think for me, I've not been here as long as Mickey. I'm not quite as old as him.
Thank you, Austin. Yes.
No, I think it's been a real privilege to be part of the development of the driverless program here at FSG. It sort of gets better every year, and I've really enjoyed being a part of that. But also, I really look forward to the award ceremony every year, and just how much camaraderie there is between the teams and the staff, and just sort of that release of energy when competition is finished, and sort of how relieved and happy everyone is, even if maybe they didn't have the greatest competition. It's just nice to see all the students every year and know that they're having a really good life experience.
Yeah, so very good. And are there any highlights for you today, Mickey? Did you have any highlights that you want to maybe share with us?
Yeah, definitely. A couple of them, actually. We had the acceleration of the electric cars. We had a blistering time from the Green Team Stuttgart car, 3.42 second acceleration. So that translates from 0 to 100 in about 3 seconds, which is amazing for a student-built car. And also we had the very quick times of the driverless cars. And it was almost like drivers was inside and being invisible. And driving around the track like there's no tomorrow. So that was pretty impressive and definitely the highlight.
For you, Austin?
For me, there are a few things. I guess technically I was sort of impressed by how loud the fans on Eslingen's car are. They've got some active aero fans sucking the car to the ground, and you can't even hear the combustion engine behind the fan. It's not like they can hide. They've got it turned on or anything. I think the other highlight for me was really more of a sporting achievement towards the end of the driverless skid pad. First, we had a team from Barcelona come up and say, "Oh, we've never tried to do a skid pad before. This is going to be the first one. So if the car moves, everybody cheers." They got the car to move. We cheered. And then Lisbon came and basically said the same thing, saying, "We've never actually done a skid pad, so we're going to see what happens." They got around the skid pad. They collected 22 cones. They kept 15 of them on board the car throughout the whole run. They crossed the finish line, didn't quite stop in the designated area, but they did complete both laps on their first ever try of doing the skid pad in front of everybody on the live stream, and it was just amazing to watch and see their emotion when they crossed the line.
Yeah, that was actually a really good moment. So, but this is really the heart of Formula Student, that everybody supports each other and that everybody cheers for each other, even though you might not have the best time. But this is really what it's all about. So maybe one last question to both of you. What are you looking forward to tomorrow and the day after? So what are you looking for?
I mean, yeah, I think we saw a glimpse of what some of the cars can offer today, and throughout tomorrow and Saturday we'll be able to see longer glimpses of the cars through the Autocross for the combustion electric, the track drive for the driverless cars, and sort of the pinnacle event of Formula Student, the endurance, the sort of one that everyone dreads and just wants to get to the end of. So I think from what we saw today, we can expect some sort of quite good performances over the next few days,
Yeah,
Mickey.
we will see a lot of drama out there as well. We will see a lot of tears, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy. And I think it's an achievement by itself that we could actually hold this competition this year. So actually finishing it without any big issues, it's already an achievement. I'm looking forward to the award ceremony as well, having all those prizes handed out to the teams and just cheering the teams on from our commentary position. So that's it should be amazing.
All right, lovely. Thank you very much. I think.
Yeah, thank you, Mickey and Austin, for showing up here in the studios. Thank you for having you, and to all the other commentators. It's always great, and it's a pleasure to follow you on the live stream or live on the track on the grandstands. All the best for tomorrow and the day after, and fun to all of us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Also, our two colleagues, Steph and Jonas, who are not here with us, but we are a four-man team, and we divide the task, and it's great working with all of them. So thank you.
And just thank you to the management for making this event possible. I don't think you can understate the logistical nightmare it must have been to get everything in place. So thanks for doing everything you can to make this happen.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah, it's quite a big team of volunteers. I mean, 150 people are spending their vacation or their spare time to be here on site or throughout the year to make it possible, to make a difference and really go the extra mile, especially this year. But it's so important and so exciting at the same time to host this year's event.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so guys, thank you very much.
Thank you for showing up. And let us continue with a different topic. So yesterday we already looked into the tech talk. And today, again, we want to share some impressions with you. So Tim toured around the pits, and we see some more technical insights today about brakes and some aerodynamics.
So welcome to episode 2 of our Tech Talk. This time we are above the pits, the regular pits, and we visit Esslingen here with the combustion car. This year, due to Corona, all the combustion cars are stored above here. And yeah, this new rule set this year also bring big changes to the aerodynamics and allowed for a fan car. So Timothy, can you guide us through what big changes you made to your aerodynamic concept and how you implemented this new feature on your car?
Yeah, well, at first we learned about the rule change and thought that we should try it. We started off with some small fans, similar to our water fans, but quickly noticed that they don't really make any difference. So we thought if we need to go hard or go home. So we installed two 6 kilowatt impellers on each side. And yeah, with that we do achieve quite a lot more downforce.
Okay, obviously this draws a lot of power from your system, so how you implemented it this electronic wise, and how long can you use the system actually?
Well, we have an extra battery for 48 volts that just powers the fans. I've got a battery over here, and then we use these red controllers to distribute the power to the fans, and yeah. We can run them for 2 laps of Autocross, and then the battery temperature is at its limit and the capacity. And then for endurance we use a lower RPM so that we can use them for the whole race at medium speed.
So talking about numbers, so how much quicker does this actually make your car roundabout in a skid pad run or similar comparison?
In the skid pad run we're talking about 2 or 3 tenths.
Okay, that's quite impressive. Yeah, thank you very much for the quick insight into your car, and see you racing.
Yeah.
Okay, so new pit, new car. This time we visit DHBW Stuttgart and their FSG21. They also followed the trend and packaged their entire drivetrain inside the rim to allow for better kinematics and also allow for higher mass flow to the aerodynamics. So Nicolas, can you please explain us what changes you had to do to your brakes to allow for this highly integrated package?
Okay, so the challenge here was to fit the whole brake package into our 10-inch rim. So we couldn't just buy a regular caliper and had to develop one ourselves. So what we did is we developed an 8-piston caliper on the front axle, which has very small pistons to fit inside our rim.
Okay, compared to your FSG20, you now changed to 1 caliper instead of 2. So what was the main reason for this change compared to last year's car?
The main topic for the change was serviceability. In order to make our bleeding procedure easier, we changed from 2 4-piston calipers to 1 8-piston caliper. So you only have to bleed 1 caliper each side. Yeah.
And last question. So how did the manufacturing of the caliper look like? Of course you need pads, some seals, and also the housing itself, which is probably made of aluminum. So can you guide me through that process a little bit?
Our brake caliper is made from 2 pieces, milled from aluminum and then screwed together with 3 screws. For our pistons, we use steel pistons and specially made sealings to fit our special brake fluid, which is not the common dot fluid, but mineral oil. And for those you have to use a special material.
Okay, so the main reason for the new fluid was probably the temperature rating, is this correct?
So with our new brake fluid, mineral oil, we reach higher maximum temperatures before boiling. So the whole aim of that was to higher our thermal capacity, so our brake lasts longer in endurance. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for the talk, and we hope to see you guys soon on the racetrack, and have a nice day.
Okay, thanks.
All right, welcome back. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, DBW Stuttgart, and also thank you, Rennstall Esslingen. So now, I think, Matthäus.
Yeah, that was our Thursday's grid show. Thank you for joining us, for watching today. Let us do a 1-minute break because we have another team briefing today. So let's just do a short break and tune in a minute. All right, welcome to the Thursday night team briefing. As we all know, we have dynamics tomorrow. We have the combustion and electric autocross, and the driverless teams will have their track drive tomorrow. So very important to have this team briefing today. But before we look into that, let us also introduce Slido as a tool. So we have done this rodeo yesterday. So go to live.formulastudent.de, you scroll down, you see the Slido screen. And that's the way how you put into your questions. And Katarina will follow that during the show today. Maybe we can respond to some of them by providing comments, and some others will be addressed directly to Stig. So that's the moment to welcome Stig here on the stage. It was a great presentation yesterday, very lively. So glad to have you back here. And I guess you bring more insights what's happening tomorrow.
I do indeed. I'll do my very best. From a dynamics point of view, tomorrow will be easier, at least for me as an organizer, because we have fewer events and not so much overlap. But they will be more difficult events, and that means that the whole rules business, flags business is going to be a little more difficult. I'll run through that for you, and you can ask your questions. I've done my best to prepare, as I always say I do. So let's see what we can run through. I'm going to need my slides for that, and there you are. See. These are generic slides that I made, and it is a thing about being German. I'm not German, by the way, but we do things properly, and that means that you arrive at the event when you wish to do your run. That is, no hanging around pointlessly. If you want to speculate in a late run for ideal track conditions, whatever you might want to call it, or just because you like afternoon sun better, it's your gamble. I will hear no complaining. When you show up, you are ready to race, and that means your belts are fastened, your gloves are on, balaclava in your collar, car in ready condition. And thank you so much for all the, especially the electric teams today, who show up with a low voltage system on. That is very nice because we save a lot of startup time. We did miss some of it because the scrutineers wanted to spot check the IMD. So we lost the advantage again, but great job by the teams. Thank you, and please keep helping us in that way. So handheld umbrellas only, no tents, tops, pavilions. And again, we'll try to keep the dynamic area clean, so don't bring brooms, no sweeping. The cardboard figures, I don't count them as wingmen, even though you put a dynamic vest on them. I do think it was quite funny, but it did also freak out the security guy, and it did freak out me as well. So, well, great job, guys. But remember, keep the dynamic vests to the driver and the team members. So the practice track, that's the easy one. It is where it has been this afternoon in the Nordkurve, North Stand, and we will move EBS testing out there as well. And we'll be given priority to the EBS testing. The track time, that's as we always know it, 3 to 5 minutes per run, and it's list-based. So sign in with the marshal or you don't get a run. We did have to tell off a team today. We don't want to have to do any corrections tomorrow. So when you want to go on the test track, sign in at a list, okay? And then remove all your stuff when you're done. Apparently the Nordkurve was quite a mechanical workshop today. A lot of teams hung out there and did adjustments to their cars. Some of them lasting several hours. That is not quite the intention of the test track. So show up, do your testing, go back to your pits, please. That would be very nice. Moving on to the points-based stuff. The DV track drive. We have the opening hours here. And like I said, the EBS test is on request from 8:30 to 12. Christian Ammersbach was kind enough to stipulate the opening hours. Because we still have some teams who need that in order to compete in track drive, and we really hope they can make it. The track drive will take place in the dynamic area, and it'll be pretty much the same procedure as we did for the Autocross today. The startup and collection are according to the rules, and the ASR will stay with the race director for the duration of the mission, as we always have. Moving on to penalties, I did make an error yesterday. So these penalties that you see here, they are actually correct. It was a copy-paste error on the slides. And that brings me to say that whatever I show on the slides here, that is a supplement to the rules, not a substitute to the rules. That is, it's a service for you, so you don't have to look it up. But if you are in doubt or think that the numbers I say make no sense, the rules will be the ones that count. Moving on, CV and EV Autocross. I do have a few slides for this one. It's open from 2:30 to 6:30, and we do the course walk beforehand. And we have that this year in the dynamic area, so you enter through gate 1 and Q, and it will be a little bit crowded in there, so it's quite important that you take care of wearing your face mask and respecting the distancing. We allow 4 runs per team, and there is the immediate rerun lane. There will be a very nice person briefing the drivers on all of that. We have the normal 2-lane queue system, so you have 1 lane for first run and 1 lane for all the other runs. And of course, priority always given to the first run. We want everybody on the board as much as we can. So, like I said, we have put up signs for second run or exit, and there will be a person briefing every single driver on this, because we realize this can be stressful, and we do want everybody to get as good an experience as they possibly can. So we guide to the best of our ability, but we do always need the driver to stay calm, and once, dear drivers, you cross the finish line, please slow down, use your brain, and look at the signs. I have tried to make it easy for you, okay? The penalties I've listed again, not as a substitute to the rules, but as a service for you, in case you can't be bothered to look them up. Moving on to the always interesting FSG fun with flags. That means I dug out of the frame. For the green flag, it looks like this. It means start your run. It is self-explanatory. checkered flag, that means your run is over. We will wave this at the finish line, and we will wave it as close to you as we can and in your line of sight. So this is your best friend tomorrow. It means you will now be crossing the finish line. Please slow down and follow the signs or the directions of the marshals. We introduce a new flag, that's the yellow flag. It means there is danger. Slow down, prepare to stop. You will not overtake anybody unless directly told so or shown by hand signals by the track marshals. Finish the lap following the normal course, and we will give you a rerun. We will keep track of this. Timekeeping is good at it, race control is good at it. Don't sweat it. If you see a yellow flag, we will give you a rerun. But do slow down. There is no need to hurry. I know you want to keep your tires warm, but I want to keep my track marshals safe, okay? Finally, the red flag. Most likely it's not your fault, but it means we have serious danger on track where we need all traffic to stop. So, if you see the red flag, stop your car immediately, safely, always safely, wherever you are, and wait for instructions. These instructions will most likely be given verbally by the track marshals, so pay attention to that. So it's pretty much like normal traffic signals. Red means stop, green means go, yellow means be prepared to stop.
Lovely.
How hard can it be?
Yeah. So now let's go over to the questions. Yesterday we had quite some questions afterwards, so please right now start typing if you have questions, so we can answer them directly. Otherwise, we will still answer them in the chat. And also, if we have to clarify something, we'll also let you know. And then, if there's an answer, we will announce it via today. So one question was actually posed by Zurich, and they ask for the mechanical rescrutineering tomorrow, if it will happen in the tents, in the dynamic area, or in the box, or in the originally stated scrutineering in their own pits. So the answer to that is please come to the entrance to the dynamic area. The scrutineers will wait there with tools for you. And then we have another question from the guys from Hamburg. They asked, will it be okay for CV cars to stay in the testing area and adjust their cars there? Asking because getting the car up and down with the lift really takes time.
I would like to address the it really takes time thing first. I think the main time-consuming part is, one, if you have built a car that is too wide to fit in the normal car lift, then you do have to go to the other side. But as far as I've been told by the car elevator team, we haven't had more than 5 minutes of waiting time at any point during today. So I don't entirely buy the premise. Having said that, we do allow adjustments in the test area, but we do not allow hanging around for 2 hours fiddling every single bolt you can find. One of my track marshals, unfortunately, didn't have time to crack the joke today, but he was considering giving a team a broom and say, could you please clean up your workshop when you're done? So don't make the testing area a workshop. Make it an adjustment space. That is fine with me.
All right. Maybe until the next question comes in. Or do we have another one?
Yeah, another one.
Let's go ahead.
Okay, so could you describe the areas around the Autocross circuit which can be used for media people of the teams and will be open during all runs? So there's, unfortunately, I can also answer that. There's unfortunately no media this year for the teams. Yeah, as simple as that.
But maybe then we can relate to yesterday's show where we also gave you this, or where we shared the video about the media team. And in this video, we gave you some hints where you can download pictures and where you can download the videos the FSG team does, or just go to our webpage and we have a lot of good pictures and sources out there which you can also share with your friends and via your social media channels.
And also, I've never approached a media guy without him giving me a positive answer. So if I say, it would be really cool if you could make this shot or focus in on that car, it has a nice detail. That's not just because I'm wearing the white shirt that they listen to me. It's because they always welcome input. And input from teams is no exception to this.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that as well.
Finally, maybe Stig, what are your expectations from the last 2 event days from the Autocross and Endurance and Track Drive tomorrow?
It is seeing the cars going more continuously. Skid pad and acceleration are really high tension events, but it's a whole lot of build up, a very short run, and then a whole lot of waiting again. So from a let's say car racing point of view, we do get a lot more insight into how the cars perform as race cars and not so much as design elements. So we see every single piece of the car working on the track in the flow it was built for, and that's what I really enjoy about the last 2 days of dynamics, and it's, I would almost say it's what I come here for. So please put on a good show, people. I'm counting on you.
All right, good. I think as far as I see here in the chat, there's no more questions. Of course, I will follow up as well with the chat. So if you have any more questions, please raise them also in the chat, and I will type the answer for you.
Yeah, and I guess we can call it a day. It was a long day today. It was a Thursday night. So Stig, thank you for joining us today. Again, we can wave the checkered flag here. I know the pits remain open downstairs until midnight, so some teams might be still working on their cars to get ready for the dynamics tomorrow. And for us, it's just to wish you a good night. Take some rest, take some good sleep, and we see you tomorrow again here in Hockenheim.
Good night.
Good night.